I don't. Anything other than what you earn along the way and invest into their lives along the way is gravy. So does that mean as step parents, you put up with anything and everything? No, it doesn't. It just means that you have to understand coming into this, they don't owe you anything except respect for your function. That's it. And even that has to be earned, right? So my second marriage was a lot more easier for me as a stepdad, because I knew a lot more. And some of the things I saw in my second marriage that I blundered in my first one, I just slid right through them on the second one because I saw it coming a mile away. And my kids now, I mean, I have two in college now. I have two home. One graduates next year. He'll be in college. So these are my guys. It's my ride or dies in my house right now. So I wouldn't have it any other way.
Ah, that's great, man. That's
Okay, I
really
have a
nice to hear.
question. So, do you think you would have still, because I listening to your story, right? I'm thinking to myself, okay, so if I was a stepmom and I had a 11 years, marriage and I had a child, but let's assume you did not have a biological child, would you
Mhm.
still have been okay with being a stepdad to three kids? Because I always feel like your biological
Good
child always gives you that safe zone,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So would you still
Mm-hmm.
have been a stepdad if you had no biological child?
Yeah, for me, absolutely. If you would have asked me that, 12 years ago, the answer would have been no. Oh, hell no. But now knowing more and growing more, yeah. Would I have purposely looked to be one? No, I would not have. But if that's what happened, the person I met happened to have children, yeah, I would be.
Mm.
Because I understand a lot more now. I've been through so much. So I already know how things should be and what to expect, how they would play out. So yeah, I would be. I wouldn't have any questions about it at all.
Hmm. So you've been blending for a while, right? And what do you think
Uh-huh.
makes it difficult to blend? Why are there so many
Mm.
blended families that don't survive?
Ooh. Well, you mean like my first one?
And most don't.
It's a good
Most
question,
don't,
right? Right?
Most of them don't.
You're right. And
Um,
there's so many, that's a broad question.
mm,
And for me, there were so many things, not just the relationship with your stepchildren, but also things you're working through. Now you have to remember, not only are you a step parent, right? If you're watching this and
Oh, it's hot, but let's open
mm.
the thing. I'm feeling hot. I could have gained a lot of weight.
You online.
Oh.
Can you? Ah, these blunders are priceless. This
uh,
is wonderful. That's what weight gain. Weight gain is a
thing.
problem.
Lockdown,
All right, so so okay, I'm sorry. Let me get back.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are back.
Okay. All right. Okay, I can see you. Great. Um, so still laughing at things. Okay, so why?
It's a problem. See,
Okay.
this is what's gonna muck it up. I'm telling you, I'm gonna make sure this goes at the right at the beginning of the. It has to. Your mistake. You're the one that did it.
So, um, why don't they survive? Notwithstanding our own stuff as adults that we still bring into the relationship. You gotta understand we're still married, right? So we're still working through that. Who I am, who she is, who he is, whatever your situation may be, you got to get through that too. And now you're going to throw into the equation a child trying to figure out who they are and what the hell is going on in my house and who are you, where'd you come from? Because I didn't have a say in you being here in the first place. Now I got to deal with you and like you because she says I need to, right? Or he says I need to, and and then you got to deal with that. So growing up into that adds so much more stress and pressure to an already evolving situation that some people just get exhausted. They just get exhausted and they tap out, um, because they enter into self-preservation mode, to where now, since I tried and you're not hearing, or since I tried and you're not loving, and since I believe and think that I am owed some sort of reciprocity in the form of gratefulness or gratitude from this child, and I'm not getting it, so I don't know why I'm here, and I don't want to be here. I'm giving everything I've got, and I'm not getting anything back into return from this child or these children, and you're not helping because you're not making them give me that. Well, I got a news flash for you, boo boo. They can't make them.
Mm.
That's not how this works. They can instruct, they can require, but you can't make that child do John Brown. You can't. Um, and in the relationships in homes, that needs to be understood. And when I came into this as a second time dad, stepdad, oh, I was good with it. Um, I even told my wife, listen, I have a bio son. It was her first time as a stepmom. Wasn't my first time as a stepdad or in a step family. So I told her, listen, here's the thing. If he genuinely likes you, that's great. That is great. But if he doesn't, he doesn't. And you need to be ready to understand that. Because I've lived through that as a stepdad. And had I known then what I know now, perhaps maybe things would have changed and been different. And people listening to that saying, listening to this probably right now are thinking, no, no, that's not right. Um, your child has to like it or it's not going to work. That's not true. That is not true. I know blended families that are in that situation and they're working just fine. You ask to marry the spouse, not the child. Had the child had their way, in most cases, you wouldn't be married today,
Mm.
right? That's just the truth. So now that you're here, children are children and they are inviting. They want peace. They don't like conflict. Now they'll play the role, right? They'll play you against another. And a lot of times in blended family homes, that is the number one reason why they don't exist and they don't make it, because the children have grown up enough and understood and learned how to play one against the other. And you have outer influences that come in the form of bio parents and sometimes second removed, right? Grandparents, things like that,
Oh yeah.
who are still trying to figure out who you are. And that can cause a lot of mess and grief. Now, on the other hand, there are a lot of families out here who are doing just fine. A lot of blended families out here, and you know them, we see them, right? Um, on IG and YouTube, and they're blending just fine, and all this stuff is great. I don't say that lightly because it does work. Some of it does work, and it's great, and they grow and continue to be really good knit, tight knit families. But the majority of reasons why blended families don't make it is because the pressure to choose sides is not rightfully divided from the adults. The children are going to be children. They are doing what children are supposed to do. Now, adults need to do what adults are supposed to do and realize what's happening and bring resolve to it. So, a lot of times when families don't make it, it is either because the man who's a stepdad feels emasculated because he says one thing, but the child's father says another thing, and the father's not even in the home. But for the sake of peace with the child, the mom sides with the child vehemently and unknowingly siding with the father who's not even in the home anymore. So now the man that's in the home is not taking this mess anymore. He's emasculated. He's tapped out mentally and it's gone. The other side of that is you have the stepmom who is brought into a situation sometimes, and sometimes more than not, with the wrong motivation from the father who's bringing her in. He has these children. They need a mother. You're great. I like you. I love the idea of family, but I like you. So we get married. And now I need you to be their mom
Mm-hmm.
and pick them up, his doctor's appointments, I need you to make sure that they have ABC, do everything that their mom would do. But I'll give you all this responsibility, but I won't give you any authority. So when you have a woman in that situation who was ladled with responsibility, but no authority, she ain't putting up with that mess either.
Exactly.
So she's out
Yeah.
and your family's gone. So those are just a couple of reasons why families don't exist, but those are the main ones. Men are emasculated, women are disrespected, and women that come in as stepmoms, because the nature of a woman is to accept and receive. So they receive these children as their own, whether they relate to them like that or not. They do. And when that happens, it hurts when you don't get any gratitude or any grace back from that child, and especially when it's not echoed by the other bio adult in the home. So it's huge. And men, on the other hand, are emasculated to the point to where they work, they provide, they come home, but you don't have a say at what goes on in this young man's life. And I say young man because most of the time, if men leave, it's because there's a boy who's going to a young man in the house, and his dad has more say in his life who's not in the home than the man who is in the home providing for that child. And he doesn't have the backing of the mom that is in the home in most cases, because the mom doesn't want to rip that relationship with the son.
Yeah.
Right. So it's huge and it's sad. I've seen it time and time again.
So then the mom starts, she overcompensates.
Hmm.
Jeez.
That's a big thing. That's a big thing. Yeah. And sometimes the dads do too. When kids come over, if it's a 50-50, they come over and they don't do what's expected or what the mom has requested be done. And the dad is like, listen, don't make a big deal about it. When really, yo, yo, you should make a big deal about it because they didn't do ABC. So when it is your kids, it's don't make a big deal about it. But when it is my kids or when it is me, you want to make a big deal about it. So all these things go on in the home and there's no balance, right? There's no alignment. And people aren't putting up with that stuff anymore. So no, it doesn't work.
How's the co-parenting?
Well, co-parenting for me, more so, didn't exist, not even in my first marriage or even in my second marriage, except for the idea of my bio son, his mom. And because we had both already gone through the first marriage, right? When we came into my second one, we both were so much more wise. We both were so much more chilled, you know, things that really shouldn't matter didn't to us. Things that we kept. I had this saying that I made some time ago after that first marriage and into my second: keep the main thing the main thing. If you do that, all the other things that don't matter won't get in your way. So the main thing is this: the actions of the relationship are the words you want to hear, not the words that are spoken from your children. So if you keep the main thing, which is the relationship, then you won't get tripped up on all this trivial stuff that people get tripped up on. Well, they didn't say they love me. Well, they didn't tell me thank you. Or well, they didn't do this or they didn't do that. But is the relationship one that is echoing all the things you want that child to say? If it is yes, then you don't need to hear those things. You need to see those things. And that's the main thing. So, am I saying that they should never say those things? Of course not. But am I saying, is that what you should be looking for instead of the relationship? No, you should be looking at the relationship instead of those things. So co-parenting is the same way. If you, my bio son's mom now respects the home we're in, he will call her if he feels uncomfortable or he feels like something happened that in this house that was unfair. I've given him, and here's another thing too, great question. And I want you to get this. If you're in a home and you are co-parenting, you need to give your child free reign to call their parent if they feel that they've been treated unfairly, if they feel that there is something threatening going on in their home, or if they feel that they don't belong or that they're not loved the same, give them free reign to call that bio parent and to talk to them and to let them know that. I gave my son that free reign, and I can tell you right now, co-parenting, because his mom understands that he has that freely. She's not threatened to think that something is being held from her. She's not feeling as though she's left out. She's not feeling as though there's something going on over here with her son that she doesn't know about, because she already has been given the okay and the information from me that he's got free reign. So co-parenting works so much better when the lines of communication have not only been opened, but have been identified and have been authorized by the parent in the home. So I'm a big fan of free reign for your bio children to call bio mom or dad anytime they
No
feel
side
like it,
picking, basically.
without interruption.
No picking
I'm
sides.
sorry, what'd you say?
No picking
Nah,
sides.
no picking sides.
Mm,
There's no picking sides. You can't pick sides.
mm,
Um, the playing field is unlevel.
mm.
You can't pick sides. It's not like a football team. This is your bio mom. Were you gonna pick another bio mom? There are no picking sides. Um, so you can pick other mom figures.
Mm,
You've got a dad. You're gonna pick another dad? No, you can pick other father figures, other influencers, mentors, things like that. Um, but when you alleviate sides, when you get rid of the unknown, then it works a lot better.
mm. Yeah, no, hey man, learning a lot here, learning a lot, just taking it all in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I'm
very
thinking we
interesting.
can let you go now. We've had like 46 minutes now. We've been having a conversation for 46
Could
minutes.
go on forever.
Well, I'll tell
Hey,
you
by the
what.
way, can I ask about the merch, man? I see you have merch there. Some merch there.
Yeah, I got my Blendcredible Own Your Superpower, right? So here's the thing. I'm in the process right now, and the reason I haven't really pushed this too much is because I'm in the process of rebranding. So I'm rebranding Blendcredible. And if you follow me on IG, at Blendcredible, you'll see how that process is going. And all of you all are going to be a part of it. I want you to be a part of it. So I'm going to be rebranding Blendcredible. I'm going to ask for your input, and I need your input as to the new face of Blendcredible. So stay tuned for that.
Definitely.
Okay, so one more
Yeah.
thing. What advice would you
Mhm.
give to new step parents?
Woo. First, first for new step parents, I think there's three phases that I tend to deal with when I talk to step parents. One, if you are coming into what I call phase one, anywhere from newborns to like 6, then my advice to you, if you are a stepdad, is to understand that at this stage in the child's life, depending on how the first relationship was dissolved, mom is super protective of almost every area of this child's life. And you cannot be threatened by the fact that that is going to be the case. You are the husband, you are the partner. But understand something, you are not number one when it comes to what she protects, where her interests are, and where her energy is going to be. And if you think that that is not the case, I've got case studies upon case studies to prove that that is in fact exactly right. Or you don't even need case studies. Ask a mom; she'll tell you. Phase two, if you are from like 6 to 12 and you're a stepdad coming into this child's life, you have to understand now that the tides are changing a bit. Um, that child, if he's a son, is going to need you not to be a dad, but to be a consistent example of accountability and acceptance in that child's life. And that's so much to unpack there. If you're a stepmom in that situation coming into that child's life, then understand that you are already coming into a situation that has been built, and just by your nature, you want to love and you want to receive and you want to set up house and you want to set up shop, and that's great. Allow the kids to help you do it. That's a simple answer. Allow the kids to help you do what you believe needs to be done in the house anyway. Invite them to help you. Phase three is 13 on up. You're coming into something that's already solidified now as a step parent. Really, what you come in now to do is focus on your marriage.
Pretty
Do that.
much.
Yeah, focus on
Pretty
your marriage.
much. Yeah, that's the
The
situation.
kids are
Yeah.
on autopilot. They're already who they are. Psyche has been developed, right?
Yeah.
So they're there. So
Mm.
focus on your marriage, and do that. So that
Which is hard because obviously
focus on your marriage.
there's like, people have to respect each other on a level of like how, like, respecting strangers, basically. And you're
Hmm.
basically just respecting,
Hmm.
trying to get into a situation where you're strangers respecting each other, but I'm dating your mom. It's
I
not
know.
easy.
I
Yeah,
know.
that situation is definitely not
No,
easy.
it's
Yeah.
not. When they're teenagers,
Oh man,
you got to understand something. That's
definitely.
their house. That's their family, and
Yeah.
you are a guest that happens to have married their mother or their father,
I
and if they
guess.
like you, great,
I love it.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
And some people may be listening to me talk and maybe thinking, "Mike, he's kind of hard." That's not right.
It's kind of harsh,
Listen,
man. That's deep. Yeah.
I'm just letting you know,
Yeah.
right? There's so many other places and people who are giving you the other side of that. It's not wrong. It is right. It's a beautiful thing. Being a stepmom is so beautiful. And my kids, look at our pictures and we love each other. And that's a real thing because my kids in my house love me. So it does happen. But I do have a stepson who, if you ask him if he loves me, he may tell you no. But does he respect me? Yeah. And does he owe it to me to love me? Absolutely not. And that's hard for some people looking at this right now to even fathom.
Yeah.
You're in this
It
kid's life right
shouldn't
now. You came into his life at 2 years old.
be. Yeah.
And really, the hard thing to hear is that he doesn't owe you love.
Mm.
That's hard to hear. But the truth of the matter is, you've invested so much into his life that he can't help but to love. So that's a whole different thing. But I don't think people get caught up on this thing about step parenting. I'm going to be a step parent and the kids are going to grow up and they're going to love me. They're going to appreciate the fact that I was a step parent. Let me help you. I'm just going to tell you the end of the movie. No, no. That's not how it would end when it comes to what's expected. If it happens, and it does happen a lot, then great. That's just such a great feeling and it's icing on the cake. But as step parents, my advice is go in with your expectations of reciprocity low. Don't set yourself up for failure that way. Don't set yourself up to be hurt that way. Understand that these children are loyal to their parents, not you. Now, that was hard too. Dang.
That's,
But
that's the thing.
um,
Yeah. Yeah,
um,
but it's not.
you guys come back to their YouTube channel. Don't go because of me. Come back to the YouTube channel.
Yeah,
But
but even it's necessary.
it doesn't have to be that way,
It's necessary information
right? So
to understand
yeah.
those things. Yeah, you have to understand.
Hmm. Yeah, don't set yourself up for that. So yeah,
Mm,
that would be my advice there.
mm.
Well, let's wrap it up because
Wow.
I'm already so tired.
I just want the merch, but yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about that. Yeah. So
We'll
I
talk about
appreciate
it.
you guys having me. Thank you so much. We'll have to pick this conversation up again
Yes,
another time.
yes, of
Mm-hmm.
course. We
Yep.
could have
Yeah.
a part two, a part three, a part four, a part five.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good conversation.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really
yeah.
enjoyed it. Yeah, thank you so much. We
Mhm.
will put the link below to the podcast. Please do check him out.
Mhm.
And yeah, to the Black and Blending family, thank you so much for tuning in and for being faithful. We will see you guys next time. Ciao, Bella.